So you ask yourself the following question: who's going to win this terrible division where every team has 3 wins? Our football power index, our analytics, give the Eagles the best chance at 44%, despite the fact that they have a markedly more difficult schedule going the rest of the way than the Cowboys do. A lot of people have pointed out to me, by the way, the Giants are the team playing the best of all the teams in that division. They're 3-3 in their last 6, and those losses have been pretty close. So let's go around the horn here. McElroy, I'll start with you. Who is ultimately going to win the NFC East?
I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys, only because I want to see Stephen A's reaction throughout that, what he described as a wonderful holiday season. Y'all, they have the most proven quarterback right now in the division. I mean, Andy Dalton, granted, missed some time with COVID, got banged up, but I trust him in the regular season. In the postseason, that's a different Andy Dalton, but in the regular season, he clearly has a good rapport with CeeDee Lamb. They got talented weapons. The offensive line can't get much worse than it's been at some points this season. And then the defense, shockingly enough, has been quite a bit better these last few weeks. So I like the trajectory that they're on. And then what is the worst division I've seen in quite a while? I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys.
It is the fewest right now. 3 wins through 11 weeks is the fewest that any division leader has had at this point in the season since the merger. Jeff is next. Jeff, who wins the division?
I'm going Dallas Cowboys as well. And I mean, you know, listen, Ezekiel Elliott had a good game against the Vikings last week. The offensive line, when putting Martin out at right tackle, definitely helped benefit them and solidified a little bit. But listen, this historically bad defense that they've had, the good news is the division they're in, right? You go play the Eagles, you know Wentz is going to give you a few, right? You play the Washington football team, they're not a juggernaut on offense either. So your weakness is actually a strength in the division you play in. I got to go Cowboys here. And here's the crazy part. I think it's the Cowboys hosting a home game at 6-10. How awful is that? But I think that's what's going to end up happening.
Yes, I mean, 6-10 might even be generous. But someone wins that division one way or the other. Graziano, who is it?
Greeny, I cannot believe what I'm hearing on this program today. And I want to go back a few minutes because Stephen A. Smith had the nerve, the unmitigated gall, to come on this program and say he was disappointed in Greg McElroy, Jeff Saturday, and myself for some reasoned takes. And then in the next breath, he goes against everything he stands for and picks the Dallas Cowboys to win the NFC East. Absolutely staggering. I am shocked and appalled. The Philadelphia Eagles are in first place, and they are going to win the NFC East. And Greeny, I don't know if you've pointed this out before, but that tie against the Bengals earlier in the season could be a big difference maker when we come down the stretch, because a tie is better than a loss.
Yes, the only reason I'm rooting like crazy for the Eagles to win the division by half a game is because I was dead right on the tie. But being right on the tie doesn't change whether they win it or not. I would love to say the Giants, because all other things being equal, I believe the Giants are playing the best of any of the teams. But then I looked at this remaining schedule, and they have a much tougher remaining schedule than the Dallas Cowboys do. I have to pick the Cowboys, and part of the reason is they just looked like a different team this past weekend. They looked like they had a little bit of the snap and the fire that we've been expecting, and it's not as though the Vikings were the same team that we saw at the very beginning of the season. The Vikings have played much better of late, and the Cowboys looked like an entirely different team. Their defense, as we say, it couldn't possibly get worse than it was early in the season. Zeke finally ran for 100 yards. Dalton will steady the ship. I think 6-10 is the magic number. I think they wind up winning the NFC East at 6-10 and hosting a playoff game. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.